Well, hello folks. I'm Chris Biffle. Welcome to our next edition of Whole Brain Teaching Live. Let me make a few adjustments here and we'll be right with you. So first I want to adjust my screen, bring things down a little bit. Give me just a moment here. And I'm going to bring up my chat box so I can see what you're all saying. This is our second broadcast in our professional development series. Delighted to be here. I'm going to check to see if you can see me live. Just waiting for the computer to warm up, my friends. I'm going to be with you in a few seconds here. All right, so you can see me. Just give me a little bit of text information there if you can. Oh, we can get, yes, we can. So you see me and you hear me, is that correct? How many fingers am I holding up here, my friends? Would you please tell me? And I'll wait to see if our audio is working just fine for our broadcast tonight. 4, all right. So we're jumping. All right. Here we go. All good to go. Thank you so much. I am going to get ready to broadcast here, my friends. 2 and 2. 4, yeah. Folks, as you log on, let us know where you're from. And we are going to start. Here we go. So here's our main screen. Whole brain teaching. Yes, indeed. And I, not surprisingly, am Chris Biffle. This is brought to you by wholebrainteaching.com. And here's some news. Professional development credit is available. See the note at the end of the broadcast. So you interested in professional development credit? Let me know. We've got about 68 viewers here, all across the country. What are we going to talk about tonight? Let me tell you. What we're going to talk about tonight is oral writing. Oral writing. I'm a philosophy teacher, taught philosophy for 40 years. I don't do anything anymore. I just sit around with my hands behind my head, just dreaming up ways to help teachers across the country. But boy, I loved having my kids write. But there's got to be an easier way to teach writing. Here's the idea that we're going to be talking about today. If you can get kids to speak paragraphs and even short essays, you can get them to speak that stuff, writing is so much simpler. Give me an oh yeah. We're at 62 viewers. Alisong loves oral writing. So here's our jazzy screen. What is oral writing? And Biffy B, who's a good friend of mine, says it sounds groovy. Here's a short definition of oral writing. Oral writing teaches kids to speak paragraphs and short essays, making writing much easier. Just let that sink in for a second. Let's teach them how to talk like we want them to write. Well, our little friend says, Nito, how does oral writing work? Let's get right down to it. Oral writing step 1. Teach your students that every question you ask must be answered with a complete sentence. I'm sure that you're doing that already. But I've got a feeling you might be doing it inconsistently. Whenever you ask a question, they must answer with a complete sentence. And I'm not just going to say that you should do that. I'm going to show you how to do it. This is how us whole brain teachers are doing this now all across the country. Let me look at my next slide here. Now here's one of our key ideas. Pay real close attention to this, my friends. Teach the wrong way to answer questions first. So you pick out a kid and you say, listen, I want you to answer this question just with 1 or 2 words. So you say, what did you do this summer? And the kid says, went surfing. What's your favorite dessert? Chocolate sundaes. Just ponder that for a second. Whenever you want to teach kids the right way to do something, say, all right, here's the wrong way, and you clarify the wrong way, and it makes the right way so much more obvious. So first, show them how you don't want questions answered. Now, here's the next step. Would certainly make sense. Teach kids the right way to answer questions. Teacher, what did you do this summer? This summer, I went surfing. What's your favorite dessert? My favorite dessert is a chocolate sundae. Simple enough, we can even do that in kindergarten. And our friend says, I get it. The answer must repeat part of the question. Teacher, what did you do this summer? This summer, I went surfing. What is your favorite dessert? My favorite dessert is a chocolate marshmallow sundae. Oh, yummy. But now here's the point. Listen to me, my friends. But what if a student forgets to answer with a complete sentence? Smile and cup your hand behind your ear. You don't have to say anything. I didn't hear your complete sentence. Here is the beauty of a live broadcast. I can show you the gestures that I'm talking about. This is so important, I'm taking off my glasses. So you say, what is the answer to this problem? And the kid says, 39. You don't chastise them, you do this. And you smile. And that means, oh, I didn't hear your complete sentence. Whenever you're talking to a kid and you're not getting the response that you want in terms of fluency, it's the hand cupped behind the ear and the big smile on the face. That's an important point. That's your first prompt that we're going to teach you in oral writing. Oral writing has silent prompts. That's pretty cool. Let's see if you have any questions about that. I'll look for your questions. That's right, Alisong. After some time, it will become second nature to your kids. Indio Deirdre, are you using that out there in Indio? Oh goodness, I didn't hear your complete sentence? Any questions, my friends? I think that's pretty simple. Let's go on to our next point. 67 viewers. Oral writing, step 2. Teach kids to add a detailed sentence to their answer. The detailed sentence is called an adder. The adder cue is pointing your forefingers at each other and spinning them. Give me more. So, you said to a kid, what did you do this summer? Before they even start to answer, just cue them. This summer I went surfing. Then you do this. That means, give me more. Give me another sentence about surfing this summer. We call this an adder because it adds information to a previous sentence. We think that makes more sense to kids than saying, give me a detailed sentence. And they start thinking, oh, what's a detailed sentence? Just give me a little bit more. That's what an adder gesture is. Any questions about adders? I'll take a look. The kids like the adder. Yes, they do. You'll be using it tomorrow. You'll be using it for the rest of your career, my friend Aline Benjamin. All right. Love the gestures. Will be great help to kindergarten. It's great help to college students. Let's look at our next slide. Now here's some examples of adders. I'm putting the teacher prompts in parentheses. Teacher said, what did you do this summer? And cups her ear with her hand. This summer I went surfing. Teacher spins the forefingers. Don't say anything. Don't interrupt the kid. Just spin your forefingers. My family went to Laguna and we had a blast. Another adder example. What's a fraction? Cup your ear. A fraction shows how many parts in a whole, if they remember the definition. Spin your forefingers, asking for an adder. The top number is a numerator and the bottom number is a denominator. Wow, that was a bright kid. So, very, very simple so far. It's going to be simple all the way through. You ask a question, you cue for the complete sentence as an answer, and you say, give me another adder, whenever you want to. You don't have to do it all day long, but whenever you want to, get a little bit more. Well-organized speech is the key here. Let's look at another example, my friends. Teacher says, what is an essay? Student says, an essay is 3 or more paragraphs on one big subject. That's our definition. Teacher spins the forefingers. Student says, we read an essay yesterday about volcanoes. Oh, excellent adder. You added some information about what we were just talking about. What a good student that is. Actually, it was me. I don't think you're too surprised. Now, we already almost have kids speaking paragraphs. If you do this a couple of times, you can get 2 or 3 detailed sentences. The answer to the question, listen, I'm going to take off my glasses again. The answer to the question is the topic sentence. Give me an oh, yeah. Topic sentence. Tough to teach kids how to write a topic sentence. This is the whole brain teaching easy way. I ask you a question. The first sentence is the answer. Everything else develops the idea. Then you get them to start adding adders. And then we're up to step 3. You just get to these 3 steps in kindergarten. Watch me. You can milk these 3 steps all the way up the grade levels. All right, I'm calmed down now. I'm putting my glasses back on. Let's look at step 3, my friends. Teach kids to add a conclusion after their adder. The conclusion is called, bizarrely enough, a concluder. The concluder cue is waving one hand above the other as if saying, safe, play's over. Let's look at that gesture. So, you got the answer, you got a couple of detailed sentences, and then you go like this. That's it. Play's over. Give me your conclusion. How should that conclusion be structured? Well, here's a strange idea. Let's structure it in a very simple way. What's a fraction? A fraction shows how many parts in a whole. The kid gets the adder gesture. The top number is called a numerator and the bottom number is called a denominator. Another adder. 3/4 is a fraction. Concluder. Fractions are not hard to understand. Once you have given them the gesture, my friends, they understand that this is going to be the last piece. As soon as they understand this will be the last piece, you say, listen, whenever you give me a conclusion, I want you to either say, in conclusion, zoop, That's that air comma. Or to sum up, zoop. Or maybe you might just want to say finally, but I think in conclusion or to sum up, that should always go as the introductory phrase to your concluder. And put in the air comma. The kid puts in the air comma. Any questions? Let's look at another example. Teacher says, what's an essay? Student says, an essay is 3 or more paragraphs on one big subject. You ask for an adder. Last week we read an essay about Mark Twain. You ask for another adder. Each paragraph in the essay was about a different part of Mark Twain's life. You give the concluder gesture. In conclusion, essays are about one big subject like Mark Twain's life. And Biffy B says, concluders always begin with in conclusion or to sum up. All right. That's a very simple oral writing pattern. Can really get kids this ability to speak topic sentence, detail sentences, sum it up. How much practice they need? Hundreds and hundreds of repetitions. So they're thinking like writing. And writing is a very different use of language. I'm sure that you'll agree. Let's just see if there are any questions now about this much of oral writing. Great academic vocabulary. You're right, Deb Weigel. In conclusion. Indio, Tiffany, love to see online. You love the air comma. Yes, how would you go about connecting an adder that is off, correcting an adder that's off topic? Oh, wait a second. Are you telling me that you might have some kids who are speaking a sentence and then another sentence and then the next sentence is who knows where it came from? You have kids like that? We got some kids like that here in California. Probably got a few in Indio, probably got a few up there in Palmdale. We have a groovy way of correcting kids when they're off topic. But Rand Rayner, would you just wait a few minutes up there in Oregon? Let me get to it. Almost seemed like I paid the guy to ask that question. It was such a good question. Virginia, oh, you got a few out there in Virginia? That's right, Chris Rexted. Chris Rexted, delighted to have you online. Chris, see if you can change your name to Red. The co-founder of Whole Brain Teaching, Chris Rexted, is in the house. Oh, this is our We Love It gesture. Chris, there's a little color box there. See if you can change your name to Red. That identifies you as one of the experts of all experts. Yes. Now let's do a little summary thus far, my friends. Oral writing. Step 1, every question is answered with a complete sentence. Prompt, hand behind the ear. Detailed sentences are adders. Spin your forefingers. The last sentence is a concluder. Prompt, waving a play safe. There's so much more good stuff to come, my friends. And guess what? Guess what? I'm going to take off my glasses again. This is so exciting. So much more stuff to come. And guess what? No commercials. We're not just getting you all hyped up and then try to sell you some. We're just going from one great thing to another great thing. Let's go on to the next great thing. We got nothing else to do. Just great stuff here. Here's the word from Birdland. But what if a kid forgets the pattern? Initially, students are prompted by the teacher. Also, a board diagram serves as a guide. Chris Rexted is using this board diagram. Probably used it today in his 4th grade class. Here's the diagram. Question, answer, adders, concluder. So simple. Let's make writing simple. But what if a kid is talking and doesn't know what to say next? The student shouts, "Help me," and throws up her arms, and other students shout suggestions. You're going to love this, my friends. You're going to love this, help me. You know what happens a lot? The kid is talking, maybe they're shy, maybe they're very verbal, but then they get stuck. What should they do? They should just say, "Help me!" And everybody else is free at that time to give suggestions. Also, that makes sure that everybody's fully engaged because kids love to give suggestions. Teach your kids, when you don't know what to say, you just go, "Help me!" And you know, as a teacher, like, you can kind of pretend sometimes. Maybe sometimes you're not pretending. You're not really quite sure what to say. You thought, oh, what was that assignment from yesterday? What chapter was it? It was chapter, help me. And then the kids help you out. It's a beautiful, no failure, continuous safety net in the classroom. You don't know? Say, help me. Everybody will help you. Beautiful thing. Help me is great. Got any gourds? Yes, Svetlana. Svetlana, in Russia, could you have the kids say, help me? I bet you could. Let's look at our sample here. What is a fraction? Teacher cups the ear with her hand. Maria says, a fraction shows how many parts in a whole. Teacher gives the adder gesture. The top number is called the numerator and the bottom number is called the denominator. The teacher gives the adder gesture. An example of a fraction would be, help me! And the kids shout, 1/2, 3/4, 2/3, 4/5. You could even shout in some stuff. Maria says an example of a fraction would be 3/4. Then you give the concluder gesture to sum up. Sometimes fractions are hard to understand. Yeah, that's the help me. But what if the teachers wants kids to use more complex language? And the teacher introduces more complex adders. Oh, I bet you can see where this is going. So check it out. Yes, you want kids to speak paragraphs, but you also want them to use complicated language. Oh, you're never satisfied, are you? You always got something more you want the kids to do. Well, teach them more complex adders. Here's a couple of good adders. The because adder. When you want a kid to use the word because in the next sentence, come back to me. In fact, let's do this 3D mix. I think this is a perfect time for the 3D mix. Can you read the words on the screen while you're watching me? Just let me know here, my friends out there. Aline Benjamin, yeah, you can see it. All right, Alison. So here is the because adder. So the kid is talking along, you're listening, you say, you just do that. That means use because in the next sentence. When the kid uses because, they clap, everyone else claps as well. Because is, I believe, the single most important word in our language because it teaches critical thinking. I'm doing this because of this reason. Because leads us to give reasons to back up our conclusions. Here's another adder. You want kids to add a transition? It's like this. See? A super fast adder. So they're going to use also. So you're listening to what the kid is saying. You're giving adder, adder. Oh, you want that because. And then you do this. Then they're going to go also and complete the sentence. You want an example? Example is academic vocabulary, my friends. When you do this, you're pulling an idea out of the top of your head. I'm going to go full screen on that. I don't care what it costs to go full screen. Watch me. For example. Zoop. Whenever they say for example, they're putting in the air comma, and using examples is critical to critical thinking. Yeah, critical to critical thinking. Oh, how do I come up with this stuff? I don't know. I must be just drinking something special here. It's called water. You want adjectives? I'm really loving adjectives lately. I've seen some results where kids are using adjectives. So you just kiss your fingers because we call adjectives spicy words. Spicy. I'll give you the adjective gesture. So you're listening, you're getting the adders. You'd like an adjective in there. Mwah. Yeah, give me an adjective. Oh, those adjectives are so spicy. Any questions so far? Deb Weigel, we got 75 viewers. That's pretty cool. All over the world, in fact. You like it when Coach B pulls things out of his head. Well, don't you? Just be careful I don't pull something living out of my head. We don't have a video yet of it being used in a classroom. Florida girl, send us one. This is brand new stuff. This is not like old stuff I'm giving you. This is new. Ooh. You're getting the newest of the new here. It's live video. What would you expect? Let's go to our next point. Some more adders. Conjunction adder. I think really the three best conjunctions are but, or, and. So, you're listening to a kid talk, pretty advanced kid, you give him this gesture, see, a conjunction. A conjunction links two parts of a sentence together. Let's say you want a preposition. Oh, gosh, what could be a gesture for a preposition? I'm going to let you tell me, my friends. What gesture would you like to use for a preposition? Then I hope you like my gesture. You'll probably come up with a better one. Tell me about your preposition gesture. Indio Tiffany, yes. Flip, I'll be there to help you. Very good. But how about some preposition gestures, my friends? I'm sure you're all typing very, very fast. Let's see what the first one. Waiting for permission slips. All right, we got some slow fingers. Let me just show you my preposition gesture. Here we go. Prompt, you raise your hands like a squirrel's paws. Prepositions are squirrel words, describing a squirrel near a log, above, through, over, under, beside. Here you go. This is my preposition gesture. See, I'm a squirrel. So we help kids understand that prepositions are squirrel words. Above, below, beside, through, over, under. Squirrel words. If you want kids to use a preposition, prepositional phrase, give them the squirrel gesture. Yeah. You like that? You can use any gesture you want. After all, my friends, it's your classroom. But what about commas and periods and stuff like that? The instructor teaches air punctuation. Let's look at that screen. What about commas and periods and stuff like that? Teach them air punctuation, if punctuation is important to you in your classroom. So here's three pieces of air punctuation: the period, the comma, and I just threw in the colon. I don't know how often you're going to use colon. I think you probably use semicolon more, but let me show you the gestures. I've already shown you the comma gesture. Here's the period gesture. It comes to us from Farrah Shipley in Lubbock, Texas, one of our outstanding new additions to the executive board. It says this. So, I like bananas and ice cream. I like bananas, though you might be surprised to hear it, and ice cream. Is putting in end marks important to you as a teacher? And do you sometimes have kids who don't put in any end marks? Well, teach them. Put it in there like a stop sign. Comma, zoop, colon. I don't know if you're going to use colons. It's just good to use colons. They start a list. But a good reason to use colons is that there's a nice funny gesture. Boop, boop. See, two little dots. Boop, boop. That's a colon. Any questions? That's right. Make it physical. Oh, I've got a new slogan. Wait a second. Wait a second, Deb Weigel. Indio Tiffany. Palmdale Heather. Alice Song, Chris Rexted, new slogan. New slogan. Here you go. Make it physical and you make it visual. Can you dig that? When you make it physical, you make it visual. And those are the two biggest areas of the brain, the motor cortex and the visual cortex. Now, that's a pretty good slogan. Chris Rexted, what do you think? Make it physical and you make it visual. Of course, you can do it the other way as well. Put the glasses back on. Yes, Palmdale Heather. Love it, Indio Tiffany. And you dug it, says EduCarp. All right. That's our mantra. You're right, Chris. All right. Let's carry on here, my friends. Making it physical and visual. Capitalization. Oh, yeah, capitalization. To indicate a letter as a capital, put one hand on top of the other and lift the top hand quickly, showing the letter is big. Let me show you that gesture. That's why I love live video. Here's my capitalization gesture like this. See? Just shows you. I'm starting a sentence with a big letter. So, watch me. The dog barks in the street, but no one hears him. There's a perfectly constructed sentence with a conjunction in the middle, capital at the start, and a period at the end. Kids need to do that hundreds of times orally so they do it naturally when they're writing. So it looks weird when they're writing because they're so used to making it physical and visual. I'm just going to milk that. Let's go to our next point. Let's look at that screen. There's a sample. Indicate a letter as a capital, put one hand on top of the other and lift the top hand quickly, showing the letter is big. The dog barks in the street. Start with a capitalization, give the conjunction, but no one hears him. I think I'm getting it. In oral writing, you make a gesture for each writing component. Topic sentence, detail sentence, conclusion, adjective, transition, anything. That's the idea. Let's just stop. I'm likely to whip off my glasses again, to tell you the truth. Here's what we're thinking in a whole brain teaching. Of course, we're going to start simple. Of course, we're not going to stay simple. But anything that you want to see in your kids' writing, just pick one or two things at a time. I suggest after you get the adders and concluder, just work on because. Work on because. When they're getting that, then work on for example. Whenever you get a because, get an adder after that to add some information to the because. Whenever you get a for example, get an adder after that to add information to the example. But whatever you want in writing, think up a gesture and get the kids to orally practice it. Why? Because oral is so much easier than writing, and in oral we can get lots and lots and lots of repetitions. So we train the brain to think in terms of written structures, not spoken structures. Spoken structures becoming written structures. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And no one, I mean no one, has ever complained about our prices, my friends. Ha 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 ha. Glasses back on. Back to business here. So that's the key idea. But lots more good stuff coming. Rand Rainer. But what about if a paragraph has off-topic sentences? Isn't that important? The kids learn the bungee jump off-topic routine, Rand Rainer. This shows how brilliant your question was. Your question was brilliant because I knew I had an answer for it. Let's look at this. As a kid speaks her paragraph, walk your fingers down your arm. When a sentence is off topic, leap your fingers off your arm. Shout, "Aye! Off topic!" Then spring your fingers back onto your arm to show that the student must spring back onto the paragraph's topic. Let's see what that looks like. So, Rand, you're listening to a kid who's reading some of their writing back to you. Or maybe just orally speaking. This good kid can speak paragraphs. You're doing this. Let me get my hand over here. So you just sentence, you listen to another sentence, you listen to another sentence. All the kids in class are doing this too. You listen to another sentence. I'm going to have to get this. And then off-topic sentence. Eee! Off topic. Bungee jump, you got to get back on topic. Now tell me, do you see what we're doing? We're weaving the golden thread of fun through everything we do. Why are we doing that? We're doing the physical so it becomes visual, and with the golden thread of fun, we're involving the emotions. Boy, if we keep going, we might get the whole brain involved. Yeah. You know, what would that be like if you had the whole brain involved in learning? I don't know. It just sounds like impossible. You know, you'd have to get like speaking and listening and use the prefrontal cortex. Maybe someday somebody will come up with a way to get the whole brain involved. Oh, if they could do that, wow. I'd take off my glasses to them. Let's look at that screen again. There it is. Spring your fingers off in the bungee jump. More good stuff coming at you, my friend. Keeping a paragraph on topic is very important, as they pointed out. Rand Rayner points out in Oregon, the teacher could also do bungee reading. Let's check out bungee reading. The teacher reads slowly from any book. Kids walk their fingers down their arms. The teacher invents a sentence that's off topic. The kids shout, "Aye!" and bungee jump their fingers off their arm, and then snap them back to where they jumped from. So, do some bungee reading. Sentences off topic is a huge problem. In fact, if the kids will write sentences on topic, most of the hard stuff in writing has been accomplished. So we got to do some bungee reading. You read, the kids do this, you read, and then you throw in a sentence and they go, "Ah!" Or, if you prefer, "Aye!" Get back on topic. Got to get my arm there in the right place. Let's press forward. We've got some more great ideas with oral writing. I hope you can see what a rich technique this is. But here's a question I haven't been asked yet. Sounds great, but how do you get the whole class involved in oral writing with each other? Boy, those birds in Birdland are really on the money tonight. We got to get everybody going. So now, so far, it's just, let me explain to you. So far, you're saying stuff, you're prompting the kid, so you just got you and the kid. That's not good enough. You got to get all the kids going. So here's the answer. You show them modeling with one of your kids, and then you get them all to do it. Put the oral writing pattern on the board. List the kinds of adders you want your kids to use. Don't list too many. Also because list appropriate air punctuation and capitalization gestures. Ask a question and let kids practice oral writing with each other. Here's another one of my friends. How about an example? All right, I'll give you an example. So there's the pattern. Question, answer, adders, concluder. The only adder you decide you want is because. You say, don't forget capitalization, air commas, and air periods. And then you put your question, your prompt. What happens in the story about the black bear? Now, this is huge. This is huge. We got to get the whole class involved. We put the prompt on the board, and now everybody's doing it. And we never want a kid to just fold their hands and they're through. Tell them, you know what? If you get down to that concluder, start over. Give me some spicy words all the way through there, or add some other adders. Don't let the kids fold their arms and say, oh, I'm done. No, you're never done. Your brain has to keep growing dendrites. Here's a great question from Birdland. But what if the kids don't get an equal amount of practice? You use the high five switch. Chris Rexted, I know you're out there. I know you're a master of the high five switch. Have you taught your fourth graders yet the high five switch? Here's how it works. Divide your class into ones and twos. The ones ask the question and the twos answer with oral writing. The ones silently mirror the twos' oral writing gestures. When the twos finish, they give a high five to the ones and the partners switch roles. The ones use oral writing and the twos silently mirror. So here's what we're saying. You got the ones and you got the twos. So you have the prompt on the board and the one is prompting herself. She's giving an adder and then she keeps going. She's giving another adder and then she keeps going. Oh, she thinks about a because and she keeps going. Oh, she dreams up an example. Now listen to me. Listen. Why do we want the individual kid prompting herself? Because it's helping her think forward. If the other kid is prompting our speaker, the other kid may be leading that speaker in a different direction. Let the child create their own structure. Then they're really doing oral writing. It's coming out of their head. Think I'll use a conjunction right now. Walk around and prompt them. Be sure you're getting the air period. Be sure you're getting the capitalization. But let the individual kid create their own structure. And the other kid is going to just sit there and mirror. Oh, I see, you're giving an adder. Oh, yeah, that's a good air period. Oh, excellent, excellent. That was also. Any questions about that? Deb, thank you for that report that we have 72 viewers. That's fantastic, all over the country. One day we'll have 72,000 viewers all over the country when the internet and broadcasting live catches up. Right now is about all our pocketbook can afford, my friends. Let's look at our next screen. What if you have an odd number of kids? The extra kid teaches her shoe, or the teacher pairs with the extra kid. You wouldn't believe it. Chris Rexted has seen this happen all the time. You got a kid who's off to themselves. Say, oh, go ahead, teach your shoe. Or use your sockless hand puppets and talk to yourself. Or you as a teacher, you pair with that extra kid. A few more points, my friends, and then we'll talk about professional development credit. Oh, this is it. Chris Rexted and I have been working on this like crazy the last month or so. But here's the big question. How would oral writing be related to writing? Give kids a writing prompt. Ask them to use oral writing with each other as a pre-writing exercise. That's where you strike gold. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do. You know what I'm going to do. Taking off their glasses and tossing them. This is where you strike academic gold. Oh, gold. You put the prompt on the board. You've taught the kids about all the oral writing stuff. You say, turn to your neighbor and talk your way through this writing assignment. Talk, 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 switch high five. Let's use some conjunctions in there. Get an also in there. Let's get that because in there. Adjective. Talk through it so you can write through it. That's academic gold. Yeah, got a little excited there. I'll try to calm down. But it's hard when you're retired and you got nothing to do with sit with your hands behind your head and just think of great stuff. Retirement's great. You ought to try it. Yeah, I'm glad I did. Couple more points. I'll take any questions here. Let's look at our oral writing to writing. Put a writing prompt on the board. For example, write a summary of the important events in the story we just finished. Put an oral writing pattern on the board, listing one or more adders and the concluder. Using the high five switch, students practice oral writing with each other about the writing prompt, and then they begin writing. So give me some questions. Any questions about what we've been talking about? I'll just see if I read a few questions here. I think our excellent R. Crooks and Palmdale Heather and Chris Rexted have been doing a great job. Oh, you don't want me to calm down. All right. It's great. I'm so glad I found WBT. We're glad you found it too. My group of 3 had special needs child, and it gave others turns to be his partner. Isn't that a beautiful thing, Jane? 5:59:52. Yeah, I do give different prompts for end marks. I'll show you our end mark prompts. This is our prompt for exclamation. Yes! This is our prompt for question. Very complicated prompt. See? Just make the prompt. What do we say? Visual so it'll be physical? No. Make the prompt physical so it'll be visual. So clever. I almost tricked myself on that one. Let's look at our summary here. You could have a paragraph break prompt. Oh, listen. I'm coming back to you, Navarro. Paragraph break, new paragraph. Here's my paragraph break prompt. Or I like this as my indent prompt. Be sure that it's going from left to right for your kids. Indent. New paragraph. Paragraph break. Just figure out what you want and then teach them as a gesture. Speak, 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 speak. So writing's so much easier. Let's look at the summary. Students use oral writing to verbally practice writing skills. Oral writing tasks move from shorter to longer, simpler to more complex. Oral writing is enlivened by using gesture prompts. Complex writing skills are developed by adding more complex adders, adjective, because, also conjunctions. Staying on topic is dramatized with the bungee jump. Students are trained to practice oral writing with each other in response to any question from the teacher. As a visual cue, the oral writing pattern and prompts are posted on the board. My friends, give me a few questions. How about a way to make the whole thing hysterically fun? Yeah. We're going to use the Wacky Star Fun button. Oh, you didn't think it could get any better, did you? Confess it, you didn't think it could get any better? Wacky Star Fun button. This is kind of my favorite gesture. It really isn't my favorite gesture, but it fits on the screen. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my favorite gestures are out here. You don't even see what gestures I'm making. I wish you could see that gesture. Oh, you could. Wacky Star Fun button. I'm getting excited about the Wacky Star Fun button. I'm going to show you another screen. What's the Wacky Star Fun button? Make a red circle on the board. When the kids are doing great with oral writing, push the button and they get to make wacky noises for 5 seconds. Lots of ways to do this. I had a more complex way a little while ago that I taught to Heather and Tiffany. I'm sure they've found ways to simplify it, but make it more complex if you want. Wacky Star Fun button. There it is. Chris Rexted, do you have the nerve, Chris Rexted, to use the Wacky Star Fun button with those wild 4th and 5th graders? I personally, and I'm getting a lot of flack from my colleagues in whole brain teaching, Chris Rexted thinks this is an awful idea. I like Wacky Star Animal Noises Fun button. Yeah, animal noises. Oink, oink. Bow, wow. Meow. Sss. You knew I was going to get that horse whinny in there. So the kids are making these wacky animal noises. Push the button, let them make noises for 5 seconds. And here's a good gag. Teach a kid when someone else comes in the room, the kid says to the person, please, please, if we're really good, would you push that red button just for 5 seconds? Just give us 5 seconds of the Wacky Star Fun button. Tell me if you like that Wacky Star Fun button. Yeah, that's right. You're right, crooks. Make them wait. You got a kindergarten kid who likes to meow. All right. So, wrapping it up, friends. Gosh, oral writing sounds great, but how could I get professional development credit for this broadcast and a copy of these slides? Now, by a copy of the slides, I mean a copy of these slides. It'll be a PDF. I'm sure you're kind of interested in this because we covered lots of stuff. Hold on to your wallets, my friend. Go to wholebrainteaching.com, click on the donate button and donate $5.02. 502 is the code number for this program. Within a day, sometimes less, you'll get an email from me with a professional development certificate and a PDF copy of these slides. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. But here's the certificate you're going to get. No charge for the fancy blue border. Give me a whoa! And it says this certifies that, put your name in there, completed a Whole Brain Teaching 1-hour WED seminar, oral writing at wholebrainteaching.com. They need more information, have them contact me, and we want you to include a little bit of information about the seminar so that the person who's giving you the professional development credit sees that you got some good out of it. So this document is part of the PDF file. Look at me, my friends. Pay attention. You'll get a PDF file. Give me $5.02 so I know what program you want. And the PDF file contains at the end, just like this one, the professional development certificate. You will not be getting two. You won't be getting the certificate and the PDF file. It's all one. Now let's look at how we do this. I actually think that I could go online now if the electronic forces of the universe are with me, and I could show you our donation button. Let me just try that. Here it is, right here. I'm going to zoom in. Please, my friends, please, tighten your seat belts here. Got them tightened? Check that out. Go there, PayPal. Think you can see that. $5.02, I'll send it to you. And if you do it right away, I'll do it right away. You don't do it right away, I don't do it right away. Any questions about that? You can get one from last week. These are now archived. Oh ho ho ho. These are archived now, my friends. So you can go on, watch the broadcast, but last week it was $5.01. Let's just go take a look, see if we can see the archive here. Hang on a second. I'm even going to scratch my head just in wonder that it might work. I'm going to zoom out and notice the universal homework model. I'm going to tighten the screen in. These are now going to be archived so that whenever you want to, you can see them again. And if you miss one, what the heck? We'll allow you to view it again, and if you want the slides and all the rest of that, see this down here, right here? That's the universal homework model. That is last week's. Next week we're coming up with the Super Improvers Wall. We got something great for you every week. Let's go back here. Any more questions? Just go to the same screen that you're on right now, Christy, and towards the bottom it says Universal Homework Model, and give me the $5.01. So the way it works is that The first program is 501. This program is 502. The next program is not going to be 502. It's going to be 503, 504. That way, when I get money through PayPal, I look at the amount and I know what to send you. Any more questions for us, my friends? We've still got a little bit of time here. We've been on almost an hour. Love to help you out. Super Improver's Wall is coming along, yes. Does your kid shoot for the planet Zork? The Brain Toys video, they're coming along. We got so much good stuff. There's just not enough time. It's just lucky that I'm retired. Next week's topic, I'm going to show you. You know what? If you would do some serious pleading, I might show you a preview of next week. Come on now. Anybody out there want to see next week's preview? It's program 503. Program 503. All right. I feel the vibes and they're sincere. Next week, Super Improver's Wall. We've talked about this before, but we've really amped it up. We've really jacked it up. We're going to take this concept of super improvers and really milk it. What are super improvers? It's a new way to reward kids continuously for everything they do. So you got the real smart kid and you got the slower kid. It puts them on an even level. All we're rewarding for is improvement. So if this kid is improving and lining up, or this kid is improving in his neat writing, each kid is only competing against themselves. Super Improver's Wall. Watch this. Check it out. I'm going to go so fast, you won't be able to. Super Improver's Wall. Oh yeah, so much Super Improvers. Look, there's the Super Improver's Wall. You know what? Right there, Super Improver's Wall. Next week. That's all. Any questions? Excuse me, my friends. I always wonder why these people are on television. You never see them cough or sneeze. I'm coughing, sneezing, rubbing my nose all the time. But that's just what happens to you when, you're retired. You just get these noises that come out of your head. Any questions? Yes, you're going to have to wait, Sunrise. Crooks, you got yours up? Bless you all. God bless you all, my friends. This is what's great about this. Talk a little bit about the person who gave this to me. This person who gave this to me and Chris and the rest of us didn't charge us anything. That's why we're try so hard to not charge you anything. Sorry about the $5.02 for this broadcast, but we very often can give you some interesting stuff that didn't cost anything because we got it for nothing. We're passing it on to you. I bet you know who I'm talking about. Brain toys. Well, brain toys are part of our manual, Whole Brain Teaching for Challenging Kids, a free download, several hundred pages. Kay Reed, you're amazing too. You gotta love free, Deirdre. Or cheap. Any more questions, my friend? Deb Weigel, how many viewers did we have, Deb? I'm going to toast you all. Here's to you. We'd love to come to Pennsylvania. If you want us to come to your classroom and help you clean the windows or just stand there and teach for you, just let me know. Just send me an email. Get your principal in a headlock. Give him a noogie. Send me an email. We're not doing anything except just, Actually, we're having a ball. Everything we're doing is so fun. All right. Have a hard time focusing, even though the lesson is active, engaging, and full of gestures. Dorian, just stick with it. The biggest focuser is our mirrors. So use those mirrors a lot. Kids like to move around. And keep your lessons short. Here's a lesson. Today we're going to talk about nouns. Teach. There it was, see? Keep it short. 1 sentence, 2 sentences. Any more questions? Flip-flop gal? Love to come to Florida? Folks, we're going to sign off now. And we hope to see you next week. Call up your friends. Tell them about how great the program is. And let's keep spreading the whole brain good news. Yeah. God bless us all. Talk to you soon, my friends. Goodbye.